Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video we're going to learn about reading and writing to external files. This is extremely important in Python. Part of the reason why Python has become super popular in recent years is because it's the de facto language of data science. And in data science applications, you're almost always working with data which is stored somewhere else other than your current notebook. So before we get started, I want you to do something, which is to make sure that the file palmerpenguins.csv is in the same folder. And what I also want to point out is that here's my current folder. I have exactly two files in it. I have this notebook and I have the palmerpenguins.csv file. We're about to write a bunch more and those will appear. So to write a file, you write in f equals open. We're going to write a file. The file needs a name, so we're going to give it myfile.txt. And we have to specify what we're going to do with my file. We're going to write it, so we type in W. We do this, and we see that the variable f has been defined. It's a text IO wrapper, which you can think of it as being a stream. And we can also go ahead and look in our folder and see that a file called myfile has been created. And we haven't put anything in it, so my file is blank. So let's go ahead and write something in my file. To do this, we do f.write. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Don't forget the comma. Alrighty. It pops up 47 because that's how many letters are in this phrase. And now let's look at our file. Okay, this is disappointing. There's absolutely nothing in there. And the reason for this is that we opened the file, but we didn't close it. If you open something, you must close it. So now let's type in f.close. Check again. Perfect. Now we're very happy. Now, since the file is closed, we can't write anything more. So let's say we try to write something. Let's try to write the 5 Ds of dodgeball. Dodge, dip, dive, duck, and dodge. It says value error, input output on a closed file. Can't do it, it's closed. Once it's closed, you can't do it. So this whole procedure is a little bit of a pain in the butt. So in order to avoid that, we can do the following trick, which is to say with open, betterway.text as f.write, and now we can write stuff here. Dodge, dip, dive, duck, and dodge. And the great thing about this approach is it does the whole thing all in one step, except I forgot to specify W. There we go. Whenever you're opening a file, you have to specify the file name, and then you have to give it an action. W stands for write. Later, we're going to see read, which is going to be abbreviated by R, and append, which is going to be abbreviated by A. In any case, we did this all in one step. So now let's take a look at our file betterway.txt. Perfect. Alrighty. Now in the next example, we are going to loop over data line by line and read it in one at a time. So in order to do this, we're going to create a dictionary called capitals. Capital of Massachusetts is Boston. Capital of Michigan is Lansing. And the capital of California is Sacramento. Alrighty. So now we're going to say with open capitals dot text write as f. Now we need to think a little bit about what we're going to do. What we're going to do is we're going to read in one item at a time. And when you're doing something one item at a time, the natural candidate is a for loop. So we're going to say for key val in capitals dot items f dot write val is the capital of key. New line character. Make sure I spelled capitals correctly. Alrighty. Now let's look in our folder. We can see we got capitals, and the capital of Boston is the capital of Massachusetts. Lansing is the capital of Michigan, and Sacramento is the capital of California. That looks kind of ugly, so maybe we can try to fix it. And this is going to be an important point. If we use W again, it's going to completely overwrite that file. So let's spell capital correctly. And now we're just going to be able to overwrite that file. And it doesn't add on, it overwrites. So this is a nice feature because it makes it easy to fix your mistake, but sometimes you do want to add on. Sometimes you want to append. So to do append, you do almost exactly the same thing. You say with open capitals dot text, but you don't write, you append. A is for append. And now you say f dot write. We should add another state, so we can say Raleigh is the capital of North Carolina. And now let's look at our new file. And Raleigh is the capital of North Carolina. All right, so that is writing data. If you've learned how to write, we now need to learn how to read. So it's almost the same syntax. Let's try to read in some information from our capitals. So we're going to have with open capitals dot text. But we're not writing, we're reading. So we type in R as F. And now we're going to print f.readLine. Readline gets you one line at a time. And then we should specify the end, and that the end is going to be on a blank space. So end equals empty string. And then we're going to print f.readLine again. End equals this. And this is going to print the first two lines of the file. If we want to read the whole file, we would do almost the exact same thing, but again, we would use a for loop. So once again, we're going to say with open capitals R. Then we're going to say for line in F, print line end equals quote. And now it jumped all the way down, but we can see it printed out the entire line. So far, so good. So the last topic for this video is going to be CSV files. CSV stands for Common Separated Value, and it is a common format to represent tabular data. It's kind of like Microsoft Excel, and you could think of each comma as starting a new cell. In its raw form, it might look something like this, where you got a capital, the state, and then the state nickname each on a row. And we're going to be working extensively with CSVs in this file, but most of the time we're going to be using something called pandas. But you don't have to, so I'm going to show you this real quick, but I'm not going to go over it too thoroughly because we're going to be mostly using pandas when we want to work with CSV files. So you do need to type in import CSV. And then now you have my permission to stop typing for the next two blocks. So what we can say is with open palmerpenguins.csv read as F, then we say reader is equal to csv.reader, and then we say for row in list reader from 0 to 10, print row. So this is going to print the first 10 entries of the first 5 rows. Sorry, the first 5 entries of the first 10 rows. My bad. Got my tongue tied. Now, the other thing we can do is we can read the file and then write some of the rows. This is particularly useful to extract a subset of the data. So here what we do is we say with open Palmer's Penguins R as the original, and with open Palmer's Penguins subset, where we're now writing on the subset as subset, We're going to say the reader is the original and the writer is the subset. And we're going to say if the second entry of each row is equal to Adelie penguin pyglossal writer.writeRow.row, we can do this. And now we've created a new CSV file in our folder. And what we can check is that this folder here is going to only have the Adelie penguins. So I've just opened up Microsoft Excel. It appeared on my other screen of my dual screen monitor. So let me grab it for you. Alrighty. And we can see this is a list. All of the penguins are all Adelie penguins. All the other penguins are gone. Like I said, we're going to work extensively more with CSV files, but we're mostly going to be dealing with pandas. So don't worry too much about this, this last part of the video. That's it though. I will see you guys again next time.